Hey everyone, Tom here from the Doctors Collective from not so sunny Sunshine Coast. Right, we just moved up here. I've been a bit quiet lately. It's been a bit hectic. We moved up from Sydney to the Sunshine Coast for the winter because hey, why the hell not? And other than today and I think yesterday it was pretty shitty weather. Today's terrible. The next couple of days are meant to be like that, but it's still better than Sydney, right? But look, I wanted to do this live because yesterday I put up an article about how I became a doctor because I wanted to prove something, right? I had a chip on my shoulder and I wanted to prove that I was good enough, that I could do it, that I was worthy, that I could make it happen, that I could do it, you know. And the thing is, I've been speaking to a lot of doctors lately, and guess what? They're doing the same thing, right? A lot of doctors got into medicine and they continue to work their ass off because deep down underneath it, they're really trying to prove something, right? So I wanted to do this live to ask you, have a think about it. What are you trying to prove by continuing to work your ass off? Because here's the thing, you might be following us because you want to create more time or more money or more freedom or more impact in your life. But the truth is, you can have most of that right now, right? You can create more. And this is what I say to them. I go, guys, not guys because I speak to them often one-on-one. I say, for example, John, you can have more time right now. Take more time off. You can do that. But they're like, oh no, the money. Okay, what is the money getting you? Where are you going? Oh, I've got these financial goals. All right, what are those financial goals going to give you? Right? The truth is that if you're choosing those financial goals, you're choosing those over your family. You're choosing those over the time off and enjoying your life. Because ultimately, when it comes to time, we've all got the same amount. Right, 24 hours a day, whether it's you, whether it's me, whether it's Richard Branson, the Prime Minister, whoever it is, we've got 24 hours in a day. And so how we use them reflects what's most important to us. So if you're spending your time at work rather than with family or looking after yourself, what's more important to you, right? And sometimes it's because, you love the work. Great, love the work, fantastic. But then understand that if you're going to create something that's alternate or something that is going to free up more time, you're going to end up filling that time with more work. And this is what happens with doctors. We sit down, we clear up their schedule, and guess what they fill that time with? Right? More work. And why? Well, because they love it, number one. And number two is because it gives them something that the other things don't, right? So, and for a lot of them, digging down, it's proving yourself. But the problem with proving yourself is that ultimately, when you start to do it, let's say you're pushing, and this is what I shared in the article, you go to the Doctors Collective to have a look at it, is that, for me, I was trying to prove that I could become a doctor, that I could do it, that I could make it happen, and I got there, and I did it. It was a bloody nightmare, but I got there eventually, and when I got there, it wasn't what I expected it to be. There was no high, there was no yay, it was just like, okay, let's just get on with it, and it was a big letdown. Right, it was a big letdown because I had expected this big reward that somehow I would feel validated, or that I would feel worthy, or that I would feel good enough, or whatever. But none of that came, and what I ended up doing was just looking for more. Right, what else can I do that's going to give me that validation, that fulfillment? And a lot of doctors do this too, right? Because then you take on extra roles. You become the board of something over there, or take a seat on this thing, or you take a new job, and it kind of ticks that validation box for a second, right? It makes you feel a bit worthy because you've got that extra title, that extra job, or that extra role, or whatever it is. But then at the end of the day, when you go to sleep, when you get home, you're still the same person. And when you strip away all of that, how do you feel about yourself underneath, right? That's the real key. And that's what makes all the difference, because those external factors, like I said, the title, the extra, or whether it's the extra car or the house or the extra investment, they're not going to make you feel any different about yourself. And maybe momentarily, but over the longer period of time, over, when it's in the middle of the night and you wake up, not going to make that much of a difference. And it's also not going to bring you that excitement and that fulfillment in life either. So have a think about what's driving you. What have you been trying to prove, and to who? And do they really even care, and do you care anymore? Which is a real big thing, right? Because for me also, yes, I did the medicine thing, but then I also started a business while I was in medical school, because I was, again, trying to prove something. I was like, I'm not just a doctor, I'm also running a business, and look at that, up yours, I'm awesome. And then I got there and the business was thriving, and guess what happened? Well, same thing, right? It didn't give me that validation, that sense of fulfillment that I was looking for. So I was feeling kind of lost, again, looking for what else was out there. And there were a lot of options, but I didn't know what to take. And, I go into a lot more detail in this in the article, have a look. But what I want to talk to you today about is just explore it for yourself. What's driving you? What have you been trying to prove? And is that really still pushing you? Is it still worth going for that? And what else do you want to be doing now with your time and your energy, now that you've ticked that box and you've proven yourself and you've realized it's not really that worth it? All right, so I hope that's been helpful. And let me know if you've got comments or questions, type them in below. And I'm going to be doing more of these lives now that we're on track here on the Sunshine Coast. All the best. Speak to you soon.